Hey, what's happening, everyone? I'm SirJames coming at you guys with another video, and today I'm here to give you guys my review on the Droid Depot, or to be more precise, the whole build the Droid experience. Give you guys my personal thoughts on, what exactly do you get? Does it feel like you're getting your money's worth? And essentially go from there. Got a few accessories to showcase as well. Now, obviously on my channel, I've covered the lightsabers heavily. I've covered every single Legacy and Savi's Workshop saber there is to offer. However, I tend to see comments here and there where people are like, I just have no interest in the lightsaber. It's perfectly fine. Not everyone is into a lightsaber. However, maybe you want your own personal droid. This might be for you, and it's also a little bit of a cheaper option as well if you think about it. So let's go ahead and just talk about the Droid Depot in general. Now, it's actually right next door to Savi's Workshop on the right hand side, and inside when you look around, it's actually amazing at all the details that they've done with it. And in fact, the Droid Depot is one of my other favorite locations to visit just because of how neat it looks. You see up above they have like all these parts like going from point A to point B. You got the people that are building either their R2 series droids or the BB units. People are having a grand old time. There's a lot of things to purchase inside there as well if you like your own little souvenir, whether it's a keychain, t-shirt, metal sign. In fact, right next door to that one there's a little shop where they have some jewelry, statues that are made of scrap metal, and of course they also have a life-size R2 that's also purchasable. I think that's like $25,000. But yeah, it's pretty crazy in there nonetheless. Now, the biggest thing that they offer is the whole build the droid experience. Inside that, it's actually going to be priced at $100, which is actually quite good for what you're getting, I would say. And inside you could choose either if you want to build an R2 series droid, or if you want to build a BB series droid, or maybe you want to build both. It's completely up to you actually. And what happens is that when you go up and pay, you actually get a tray, and on that tray will basically have the list of parts that you will need. So for example, for this one that we're going to be covering here, if you were to build an R series droid, you'll have your option from the different head pieces. There's like 5 or 6 different styles to choose from and different colorations. You also got your legs, which come bundled together, so you can't like have this one color, this one another, unless if you were to build another droid with another set of legs, then you probably could. And then you also have this bottom portion here along with the main body, and then after you get done building it, you're gonna pick out a few pieces to deck out your droid with nonetheless, and there's some additional accessories you can get. But overall, as far as the whole building a droid experience, because this one right here is actually not my droid, it's actually my little brother's droid, which he loaned me for the purpose of this video, and he actually had a great time. A lot of you have been asking me if I was going to be building a droid. I'm still debating on it, to be quite honest, because, for me personally, I want to be able to get my money's worth. I mean, the droid itself, based on the quality of it, is already worth the $100 fee that you're getting nonetheless. It's just, my personal use out of it. Is it something that I'm going to bring back into Galaxy's Edge to utilize? Am I going to get it and do a custom paint job, which is what the community have been doing, and they come up with some amazing paint jobs. Whether or not it's just replicating another droid or making it their own unique, it's pretty cool, and I'll show some photos here in a few minutes. But yeah, it's just a matter of, what kind of use would I get out of it. Like, for example, you may be familiar with the Dano channel. He gets good use out of his droids because he incorporates that into his overall show and theme, so he's definitely getting his money's worth out of that. But let's go ahead and go into a little more detail on the droid. Now, when you build the droid, the very last thing that happens is that they put your droid into a little slot, and they're basically pairing it with your remote. Here's what the remote is going to look like. It's cheap looking, I will say, but if you give this a custom paint job, then the remote will look very good. And this one is my little brother's droid, a little bit of a close-up here. And this one has been decked out a little bit. The backside is a little bit plain at this point in time, but that'll be fixed later on. But again, the front side, looks pretty neat. Obviously, his droid is themed for the First Order. He's on the First Order side. I'm still kind of like, good guy, bad guy. I don't know what I am. I'm maybe kind of in the middle, a mixture of both. Who knows? So in order for the droid to function, what you do is that you take the droid and you fold back the legs like so. You tilt these forward, and you tilt this piece back, and then now your droid will rest perfectly fine and ready to operate. Of course, make sure the power switch is turned on. And then of course on the remote here, you turn this on. Now for the remote here, there are a few different buttons. Now the blue portions are going to be for the movement. So for right here on this side, you have forward and backwards, and down here you have left and right. This top big red button here actually controls the rotation of the headpiece. So for example, now it doesn't spin all the way around. It goes at about a 180-degree angle, like so. And then you have these two smaller red buttons here. Now the top one would be for any accessories that has a function, which I do have one of them here. I actually have the whole jetpack portion that I can enable here, are the jump boosters. And this bottom portion here is what's going to make your droid communicate. So when we press the bottom one here, now this is the default audio that you get from default without adding anything else, which we'll get into in just a moment. So you keep pressing this. I mean, you could just have it playing, but it's, you know, it's all about bringing the droid to life. So, you know, incorporate some head movement. You know, things like that. Like I said, you got your left and right, forward, back, and the droid actually does move pretty quick. You know, if you have tall carpet, then it's not going to work that well, but if you have like a flat flooring, then this thing is going to move around very, very good. So I'm actually pretty pleased with the functionality of this droid. Now going over some accessories that you can get, we'll save this one last. We have, or one of the main accessories that tend to sell out quite fast actually, are these Droid personality chips accessories. When you take these personality chips and insert it into the droid, it's actually going to change the overall tone of your droid. So again, by default, it sounds like, you know, sounds like R2-D2, but once we start adding these personality chips, we're going to be able to change that. Now in total, there are 6 personality chips. There's like 3 different factions you can choose from. Since his is themed after the First Order, I do happen to have both First Order chips, which is the red and black. Then we have this one here. I don't remember the faction. If you guys recall that faction, let me know down below. But there's 2 different ones for this one. This one's a purple one, but we'll take this one out of the box to listen to it as well. And there's also some for the Resistance. So you could build a droid themed after what side you're on. Resistance, First Order, maybe you're Smuggler. Maybe that's what it is, Smuggler. But again, you could theme your droid however you want. It's about, you know, being creative and being unique about it and having the droid as your own personal story here. So in order to install the personality chip, it's actually quite simple. Now the personality chips are very inexpensive. Actually, I'm kind of surprised how inexpensive the accessories are, because the personality chips are going to cost you $12.99 each. And there's a few other stuff that I have here, which we'll get into in just a moment. So let's go ahead and install. We're going to open this main panel down here. We're going to go ahead and install the red First Order chip. Once that is installed, you can go ahead and activate the whole chanting thing. So as you can see, it completely changed. It was sounding like R2, now it doesn't sound anything like R2. I don't know about you, I kind of like this. So that gives you an idea as far as the red personality chip goes. So let's go ahead and install the black one. I will say though, for the personality chips, it's a little bit of a pain to get out because it goes in there quite deep actually. It's just, they should have made it a little bit easier to get out. I mean, if you have smaller hands or smaller fingers, I'd say be good that way. So now we have the black personality chip. Here is the red one. Let's go ahead and enable this one. I don't think I've heard that one before. Actually, I'd never listened to the black one, so that kind of threw me off. And as you know, one of the things that Daniel does is that he communicates with his droids for his show, you know, for entertainment and stuff like that, which is pretty neat. So it's like, you know, what do you think of the Sega Genesis mini console? Yeah, I agree. They should add some more games to it. I mean, things like that. You can just have fun with it. So again, these personality chips are pretty neat, and it helps bring out the personality of your droid. It's kind of its initial purpose. Let's go ahead and take the black one out and install a non-first order one. Again, we have this purple one here. Alright, installing the purple one. And it's nice that you just plug it in. You don't have to do anything too crazy to operate it. Simple to use for the adults and kids. So here we have purple. Very talkative, that's for sure. Whoa, language. Dang, sorry you had to hear that. Wow, sleeping on the job, I see. So yeah, that gives you an idea of the personality chips, and I think it's pretty cool, the fact that, you know, they have different options. As they stated, the Droid personality chips are $12.99, and they're quite popular, and the reason why they're popular is because they're always selling out. There's always a lot of people I've seen online trying to get personality chips and just, you know, haven't been able to get one because of the demand of them, which is quite crazy. Now, setting this off to the side, actually before we get into it, another detail I want to mention is that for the droids, is that if you have it home and it's left on, about 5 to 10 minutes it will go into like a deep sleep mode, and you would have to turn it on and off to enable to activate it once again. However, the neat thing is that this actually has built-in Bluetooth, so if you're in Galaxy's Edge, they have something there that communicates with the droid. So instead of going into a deep sleep mode like it would happen at home, if you're in the theme park, your droid will communicate and talk every once in a while, which is pretty cool, so you don't have to worry about turning it on and off again, which I think is pretty neat. Now, some of the additional accessories besides the personality chips, we have a few things here. One of them is this repair kit unit that he has. And basically for this one, you take the top portion, you plug it in here, and a lot of these panels here actually do open up. So you could install other things and accessories and whatnot depending on what you have in there. So a lot of these things do open up. They do serve some type of function, which is pretty neat. I do like that extra detail that they have going on. And the repair kit, I believe, was also $12.99. They also have another kit called the accessory panel. Now, the accessory panel kit, they offer in several different colors. You're going to notice that there's white and red in here. That's because the parts where it's red, he chose the red for here in the beginning, but these parts here were actually white panels, and we removed them and replaced them into here. And this pack is also $12.99. So again, I'm surprised how inexpensive the accessories are for this kit. And besides that, they also have sticker packs you can get, which the parts in black here are actually stickers. I've read a report where some people stated that their stickers only lasted a week, and I've had the stickers on here for about over a month now in different weather conditions, which is why this review took so long, because I wanted to put their stickers to the test. Are they cheap? Will it come off or what? And honestly, these stickers are not peeling off. But of course, one of the things that you can do instead of buying the stickers is to actually just paint the parts that you want to be a different color if you wanted to. Then we also have these rocket pack here, which we're going to go ahead and install in just a moment. Now this one I believe was $17.99. And that's one thing that you got to be cautious about for this one is the blue part where the flame effect is actually comes off real easy. So I would highly recommend you actually get a little bit of glue and just to glue that in place to ensure that it's not going to fall off on you. Again, keeps falling off. So how this one would go is that you take these side panels off the legs here, which these are little side panels, they easily come off. Then you're going to go ahead and install your accessory. Alright, I think that is good to go. And then we take the other one, put it on the other side. So it's kind of like one of those plug and play kits. I don't know if you've ever played the, I can't remember what game it was, but there's a video game that came out where you had these ships with accessories that you could interchange out so often. It's basically like a plug and play accessory kit like that. So once you enable that, you can go ahead and activate your accessory button. Which, let's go ahead and flip him back upright, because typically when he's flying, he's facing in the upper direction. So here we go. Now we're going to be pressing the top red button for the accessory. So you do get sound effects and you do get some lighting features, which I think is really, really cool. Now, there's one other accessory that I wanted to go ahead and showcase, which is another one that is always high in demand. Go ahead and just put the legs back on. Put these off to the side here. Now the last accessory that is always high in demand is their Droid backpack. Now the Droid backpack, by the way, used to cost $40, and it's actually a nice heavy-duty quality bag. Unfortunately, this also got a price increase to the new tag of $50, but here's what the Droid backpack is going to look like. On the bottom, you got some nice design on there. So on the front here, you got a zipper, you got a pull string for the top. There's also a side pocket here, which we're going to go ahead and just utilize it right now. The side pocket is meant for your controller, so it's always with you. And what we're going to go ahead and do is that we're just going to go ahead and open this up. Inside here, you also got a zipper, and you got this chain here. It took me a while to figure out what this chain was for, but in the bottom of the bag, you actually get this little booklet here. The chain is actually meant for the BB unit to strap it to the head. The reason why is because for the BB unit, you have the head that attaches to the body through like a magnetic system, and that tends to fall off quite easy depending on what you're doing. So if you're gonna have your droid in the backpack and you're gonna have this front portion open, which we'll do that in just a second, it's good to have that chain on there so you don't accidentally lose the head. If it were to fall off, it's going to stay attached to the bag regardless. So we're gonna go ahead and take the droid. What you want to make sure is that your droid is already facing on the upright slot, not in its operational phase. You can go ahead and stick it right in here. And you'll know it's incorrectly because there's some slots in there that keep it in place, whether it's the R series droid or the BB unit. Now for the chain, we don't have to do anything for the R series droid, and with that zipper on the back here, if you have accessories like your personality chips or rocket packs, you can go ahead and enable that and put it into the slot if you wanted to. But if not, you're just going to go ahead and seal the top part off with the string. You're going to go ahead and reach over to the front here and open the zipper. And this is going to go ahead and fold down, and there's actually a magnet here on this part. And now your droid can go ahead and look out and interact with people. Like I said, if you have this on inside the park, in Galaxy's Edge, the Bluetooth will make sure that this droid doesn't go into sleep mode, so he can go ahead and communicate every so often. I've heard that some people mentioned that the droid is a bit hard to hear because of all the ambient sounds that they have throughout the park, and it's kind of hard to hear depending on where you're located at the time being. But again, if you wanted to take your droid with you, this is a good option nonetheless. Again, I'm a little bit disappointed that the bag did increase in price, which is not surprising to be quite honest. But some people have also managed to create their own bags too. I mean, you can get really creative with this. In fact, a fan of mine sent me a bag. She's basically kind of trying out some design options and wanted to kind of give my thoughts, which I'm going to be doing that as well. But like I said, you can get really creative with the bag. You could you just have it like this, or some people, or what they have gotten actually, are these, I don't know if it's like a kitten bag or a dog bag, but it's like this backpack that has like this weird dome-shaped window on it, and people utilize that and customize that to put their droid in it, where you could see the full droid instead of just the head portion. But in the end, what do I think about the whole build a droid experience? Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes. And as I stated, if you look online for the community of people, or maybe the Dano Channel's Facebook groups, you will see a lot of custom artwork that people have done. Like, I've seen people where they take a BB unit and they make it into one of those Coke bottles, which is pretty crazy. I've seen another one where they designed their droid to resemble the one. See, that's what I'm talking about. It'll communicate. But I've seen another one where the droid that is featured in Smuggler's Run, that's in front of Hondo Agnaga, people customize their droid to look exactly like that with a little bit of a custom paint job, and from the parts you can pick from the Droid Depot is pretty neat. Now, one of the drawbacks that I will mention, that when it comes to the whole build a droid experience, is that there are stuff that runs out. Like I said, besides the personality chips and whatnot, there are actually droid accessories that do run out. They used to have it where you could buy additional droid accessories just like a lightsaber scrap metal, but unfortunately they stopped doing that for both ends. And there are certain parts for the droids that are popular, like it could be a particular colored, clear colored dome that's really popular, that tends to be sold out quite often, or maybe a pair of legs or body. So you have to keep that into consideration. And for me personally, I feel like if you're offering a build a droid experience, I feel like it's kind of important to keep all these things in stock. I mean, the personality chips, that's kind of whatever, but for the people that are building, I feel like it's important to have every single piece available to choose from, so people have an idea what they want to build. But that's just my personal take on it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as I stated, I think this is definitely worth the investment for those of you who are considering or debating on that. If you wanted to get a droid, I'd say yes, go for it. And if you know how to do a custom paint job, if you want to be really creative, then you can make these shine even more than what you already get here. But until then, I am SirJames, and I'll see you guys on the next review.